Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Shirk, your host of Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining us today from Detroit, Michigan, is Jordan Robertson with Benzinga. Jordan, thanks so much for joining us today on Digital Champions.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it is absolutely our pleasure. Can you share with our viewers what you do over there at Benzinga?
Yeah, of course. So I'm the director of performance marketing at Benzinga. And at Benzinga, we create content that is easy to consume for the investing community. So we're breaking news, we're answering questions for traders and investors with all different knowledge levels and backgrounds.
And what is the biggest challenge in accomplishing that? Because I've gone to your site and there is a plethora of information, but there's also a plethora of information on there.
Right. So we're always trying to create the best user experience for anyone that comes to Benzinga. I would say if there is a pain point, it's just trying to winnow down options and also finding these niche audiences, right? So if you have a very specific question about futures or portfolios, then it might be hard to navigate that. So we create evergreen content, and that's our goal. Is when a user searches for a specific question or term, we want to be number one in the search.
Yeah, I went to your site and I loved a pop-up video. It was like, what is an NFT? And that was like, oh, that's, half the people, you hear those things, but by the time you kind of get to the point where you're like, I really should start paying attention to what that is. That's great that you still have the content because you feel like, well, the rest of the world has passed you by with that information and they're on to the next thing. Let me ask you a question. When you are working with these, are these really niche audiences that you're finding? Or are you finding that you're getting a very general audience trying to understand this very complex information? Like, how do you balance the two?
Yeah, so I would say we have both, right? So the general audience is really looking for, they're coming to Benzinga for trade ideas, breaking news, why is it moving? And then on the niche side, that's where we get into really researching what people are looking for and then answering those questions in a piece of long form content.
So when you work, you're working with the general population, correct? You're not doing any B2B. Are you doing more B2C?
Correct, yes. B2C.
So what I want to ask you, what about platforms? What's the next big platform that you think that this content is going to be really reachable and accessible and digestible on?
So I think that it's going towards interactive content. And then when I think about, what's next, I've been seeing some Google Stories pop up here and there in the search engine. And if you're not familiar, it's kind of like an Instagram story, but for Google. So I could see that really becoming popular.
All right. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for joining us today on Digital Champions. We appreciate the work you do explaining all of these complex concepts to the average person here trying to understand what an NFT is. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh, it is our pleasure. And if you'd like to check, I would really highly recommend that you check out Benzinga just to see kind of how they've laid out their platform and all the great content. But we want you to check them out first by going to dailyadbrief.com. I'm Charlene Shirk. That's going to do it for us today on Digital Champions. And we look forward to learning something new with you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.